Hello and welcome to a basic Zdoom coding tutorial. Today we will be looking at decorate script, which along with ZScript is the most common script used for coding actors or NPCs. Here we'll be looking at the basic zombie man, a known and loved enemy for Doom. This part here is telling the game that it is indeed an NPC. This part is the name of the NPC, which can be changed to literally anything you want. This here is the divider, telling it that you're done with everything up here and you're going on to the next part. This is absolutely necessary, and if you do not have it, the game will not start with your mod at all. This here is the health of the enemy. The zombie man has 20 health. This here is the radius and height of the enemy's hitbox, and the hitbox only. This will not change the view of the NPC, it will not change the sprite of it at all. It will look exactly the same size. If you want to make it look bigger or smaller, you have to use the scale function, otherwise it'll just change the hitbox. I will show the scale off in the next video. This here is the speed of the NPC. The zombie man, being a slow NPC, only has a speed of 8. This is the pain chance of it. The chance that when it is shot, it will enter this state here. This is telling the game that it's a monster. That's it. This is an actor flag. While actor flags are very useful and can have many different functions, this one is purely aesthetic. All it does is make it where the NPC will clip slightly into the floor when standing on a texture that has a liquid on it. This is the sound it makes when it enters the C state. This is the attack sound when it enters the missile state. This is the pain sound when it enters the pain state. Death sound when it enters the death state. The active sound, which is what it makes when it's following you around, but it isn't in view of you. This is the obituary. This is what happens when it kills you. It'll pop up in the top left of the screen. This can also be changed to anything you want. This is the item it will drop. This can also be changed to any item in the game, but not anything you want. If you pop in an item that doesn't exist, it just simply won't spawn anything when it dies. This is telling it that it is now entering its states. This is once again a divider. This tells it that you're done with the actor flags, the health, the radius, all this stuff up here. If you do not put it, the mod will simply not start. This here is what it enters when it first spawns. This is the sprite that it uses. This tells it what it will look like. This is the frames of the sprite. Like in an animation, since this is a 2D sprite, it has frames. Here it's playing frames A and B over 10 ticks. Now 10 ticks are not equal to 10 seconds. In fact, 32 ticks is equal to 1 second. So 10 ticks is approximately a third of a second. This here is telling it to look around for enemies while it has spawned in. What it means is if it sees you, it will enter the C state. If it does not see any enemies, this state will loop continuously until the map is over. If it sees you, it will enter the C state and thus enter the chase. This tells it to follow you around, to chase you down. Once it gets where it can see you, it may then enter the missile state, where it will here face the target. In this case, it will face you, and then it will fire its weapon. Once this state is over, it will go right back to the C state, where it will continue chasing you and can fire at you again. If, though, it were to, for example, have refire, that would mean that instead of entering the C state, it would fire again and again and again and again until you're out of view. Then it would enter the C state and chase you down. With the frames, you can also put 2. AA, BB, CC, DD. This makes it where these frames play slightly faster than before. This here is the pain state. It enters this if you shoot it, and it triggers by chance. During this state, it will be stunned for 6 ticks, and will play the pain sound. This is the death state. It goes through the frames, then it does the A scream, which makes it play its death sound. Afterwards, it goes to the no blocking, which makes it where it can no longer block other NPCs or the player. This allows you to move straight over it, and also gets rid of its hitbox. This here tells it to freeze frame. It freezes on whichever frame it was. In this case, it'll freeze on L. Stop means that no more states will be played at all. This is basically its gib death. For example, if you shoot it with a rocket or a BFG, this will play. This is basically the sound it makes when it gibs. Most enemies have the same sound, the no blocking, and the freeze frame. And once again, stop. This is the raise state. This is what plays when an archvile resurrects the enemy. It is literally, in terms of frames, just the death state played backwards and a little bit faster. Afterwards, it will go to the C state and commence chasing you down. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Next time we will see what happens if we change some of these functions and see if we can perhaps make an extremely weak enemy or perhaps a really strong enemy.